and welcome to episode 8 of Let's Talk About It. I'm your girl, your host, the DiDi Skky, DiDi Skky. So glad to have you all with me tonight. Let's have a round of applause. So excited. Woo! So excited. We have a very thought-provoking show for you tonight. But of course, before I get started, I need to know who is in the building. So come on through. Let me know who's here. Let me shout you out. Oh, Pritchett, what's up? How are you? Welcome to the show. Shouts out, of course, to Levi Q, always in the building. My girl, Rachel, shouts out to you. My girl, April here. Always so glad to have you with us tonight. Come on in. Let me know that you're here. And of course, you know what I say. It's very important that you like, share, and subscribe. So as you're coming on in, let us know you're here. I see Spider Gerald is in the building. Shouts out to you. If you are watching on Facebook or Instagram, that's fine for tonight. But my producer TJ says that soon, she's going to take away my lives on all those other platforms, and we're only going to be on YouTube. So you need to go over and like, share, and subscribe right now. And if you are watching on Facebook, go ahead and share. You need to share this because tonight's topic is so very important. Share this live if you are watching on Facebook so that your friends, your family, people who follow you can join in on this conversation, because we're about to talk about the state of the United States. Politically incorrect. Okay, politically incorrect because I don't typically talk about politics on this show. It's a very engaging show. We usually talk about everything under the sun. There is no topic that I leave on the table except politics, because I just think that it is a topic that, it's one that we, it gets, a little dicey and juicy. And, I just usually try to stay politically neutral in between and let people have their own perspectives and all of that stuff. So I typically don't talk about politics, but it's the time and the place for everything. And right now is that exact time. So shout out again, Levi Q, Deborah is in the building, of course, Brittany, Brandy, all of you. Shout out to my mom who's watching on TV. Love you so much. But we're going to go ahead and hop on into this conversation with my special guest tonight. I'm not going to hold him up because he just came from CNN. He's doing a lot of other very important shows. And so I am just honored to have him on the show with me tonight. Shouts out to Jessica, Joy, Monique, Deshauna, all my girls in the building tonight. But again, we're about to have a conversation that is needed. It is the current state of our United States. We're talking about the presidential candidates. We're talking about the political landscape, those things that are important to us overall. We're going to have a conversation with that tonight with the 59th mayor of the city of Atlanta. Please welcome to the show, Kasim Reed. Hello.
Hey, DiDi, how are you?
Oh my gosh, sir. Oh, I'm fanning. I really am, and I've worked for you. So for those of our watchers tonight, I had the honor and the privilege of working under the Kasim Reed administration.
Right down the hall from me.
That's right. Special events, and I'm telling you, this is a man of great morals, character. He's someone who is very forward thinking. He's very meticulous at the decisions that he makes. And I am beyond honored. I still reference him. I saw him out and I actually said, "Hey, sir," because I have that much regard for him that I still call him sir, like, and boss, because you are still my boss to me in my head. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing amazing. It was so nice seeing you and your fiance. And I'm so excited and so happy about your engagement.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. A topic that needs to be had, of course, the current state of the United States and, the whole political agenda and arena and what we're in right now.
Yeah.
If you had to give a summarized report on your opinion, what is the current state of the United States? What would be a brief synopsis that you would say?
I think that we are in a state of challenge. I think that democracy as we know it is at risk. And I think that you either want to be in an environment where freedom and liberty and opportunity is expanding, and Black people are typically done better when freedom and opportunity expand. And on the other side, I think that Project 2025 people want to contract your rights. Whether they're rights for women, whether they're rights for Black people having the opportunity to vote, whether they're rights for us having full participation in the economy and in politics. There's one group that wants to reduce that, and there's another group that wants to expand that. And I think that we should be in the business of protecting freedom and wanting expanded opportunity, because Black people have really been participating in the modern economy for such a limited period of time. And so I think we want expansive, big, bold opportunity. And that's why I'm supporting Vice President Kamala Harris to be president of the United States.
And so just really quick, you're going to see that this is a very engaging platform. And so we are going to have questions that are posed from the audience. Listen, you guys, this is the time to put your questions on the board. We are going to answer those questions that you may have. And it's coming from someone who has a very broad perspective and understanding of what we're in, as you can hear thus far. So shouts out to Sean, Jaquita, Huggy in the building. So if you had to say there were 3 top challenges right now facing our country, what are those 3 top challenges that's facing us currently today?
Well, I think the top challenge that is facing us is a reduction in democracy. I think that the Supreme Court making a decision that put a president in the position of being a king rather than no one being above the law, which has been a bedrock principle literally through the course of our country. I think that our democracy and the series of decisions I've seen really put our everyday rights at risk. And, I think it's terrific that you're talking about politics on your show, because if you're not happening to politics, politics is happening to you.
That's right.
So you can not talk about it if you want. Somebody else is talking about it.
That's right.
And when other people are talking about it and you're not, the decisions that they make end up happening to you. And I don't think any of us want to live in a world where things are just happening to us. We ought to be engaged and passionate. So I think the state of our democracy is vital. The second area is, I think that we have to do something about how fast costs are being driven up and the dollars that they're taking out of our pockets, because a number of businesses are still taking advantage of the COVID environment. So during the COVID pandemic, there was always an excuse to raise prices and put financial pressure on us. I think inflation and prices that are taking dollars out of out of a mother's pocket who wants to pay for additional child care, that is taking money out of the pocket of a senior citizen who just wants to keep the lights on, be safe, and make sure that they have money for prescriptions. I think bringing down the cost of things and really standing up to businesses that are gouging everyday folks is probably the second. most important thing that's going on in the life of our nation beyond democracy. And then the third, I think, is just this retrenchment against an expansion of rights.
Mm.
So a number of conservative communities have been doing everything they can to block our right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Women, for the first time in 50 years, have less rights today than they did just a year ago.
Right.
And so I believe that women should have autonomy over their health care and their decisions related to their body. And there's a group of men who don't agree with that and who are actively passing laws to control what women can do with their own bodies. And so I think that those are three issues. The reduction in freedom being probably the third group of issues that are facing the United States. And whenever there's a reduction of freedoms, people that look like the two of us, our mothers, fathers, children, and grandchildren, I think they suffer.
Right.
And so that's why for the next 97 days, every single one of us, whether we care about politics or not, needs to understand that there's a group of people who believe in things like Project 25,
Mm-hmm.
but not playing with us. And so we need to not play with them. When people don't play with, when people are not playing with me, I understand that we're in a serious situation and I
Right.
stop playing with them.
Mm-hmm. Facts, facts. Levi asked the question, Kasim, what would it take to make Georgia blue and put Kamala in the White House?
Well, I think it takes all of us. President Obama used to say something. He used to say that it all matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So President Obama got elected president by dozens of votes across thousands of precincts across the United States of America. Just think about it. Dozens of votes across thousands of precincts made him the first Black male president. I think that Georgia is a special state, and I believe that Vice President Harris is going to win Georgia because Georgia doesn't like weird Republicans. And they'll vote for Republicans, they won't vote for weird ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump attacked Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp won. Donald Trump supported Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker lost. And so our state is different. First of all, you have a highly sophisticated electorate that, because this is the home of Dr. Martin Luther King and the entire progeny of leadership that came from Dr. King, Ambassador Young, Congressman John Lewis, Reverend Joseph Laurie, Hosea Williams, all of those are people that we knew and saw at the grocery store. So I think we have a highly sophisticated electorate that doesn't fall for foolishness.
Right.
And so we're so sophisticated that when Senator Raphael Warnock had 3 elections back to back, all of the old timers said that he wasn't going to win because we would stay home. He won every election.
That's right.
And that's because we have a really sophisticated electorate. So I think that Vice President Harris is going to win because Senator Warnock's structure is still in place. And Georgia has a very serious and smart group of Black people in this state that do things that are uncommon. So I think that President Trump lost in 2020. I think he's going to lose in 2024. But all we have to do is get 10 more people to vote. I don't know if you had the opportunity to be in Georgia State's gymnasium on yesterday. It supposedly holds 10,000 people. There were close to 12,000 people in that gym. And I have not seen that level of excitement.
Right.
The line was all the way across 75, 85. I haven't seen that level of excitement since President Barack Obama competed to be president of the United States. And
Mhm.
so to the person that asked a smart question, what do we have to do? What we have to do is do the work and get 10 people that we know and monitor those 10 people that we know and make sure that when the voting process starts, we guarantee that 10 people aside from ourselves voted. If we do that, then it becomes very hard for Donald Trump to become president of the United States of America. In the last 50 years, there has been no Republican presidential candidate that got elected president without winning the state of Georgia.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so, because we know that, I think that we're going to go out and make history. I mean, just imagine who would have thought that when the United States Senate was in the balance,
Mhm.
Georgia would vote for a young Jewish man
Right.
and a pastor who pastored Dr. Martin Luther King's church and would
Yes.
make them both US senators at the exact same time.
That's right.
And then follow up and make Joe Biden deliver the electoral votes to Joe Biden. Like, who would have thought that?
Right.
Every constitutional officer in the state of Georgia is Republican.
Mhm.
The Republicans enjoy large majorities in the Senate. They enjoy large majorities in the House. But Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are weirdos. And so they're going to have a great deal of difficulty in Georgia because Georgia Republicans like a certain kind of Republican. And the fact that they're weird and that they say things that no one should say, let alone believe, right?
Exactly.
This guy, J.D. Vance, is a horror show.
Right.
It's attacking women who don't have children.
Kids. Mhm.
What kind of, I mean, just what?
Right. Right.
He's attacking women. He's
Yeah.
saying people who don't have children should have the vote should count less than people who do. I mean, we won't even get started on the things that Donald Trump
Donald
said.
Trump
And
brought
so
back. Right.
the experience is that Georgians, white and black, don't like it.
Mhm.
Because if they liked it, Brian Kemp wouldn't be governor.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
Donald Trump detests Brian Kemp,
Right.
right? So it's really just a matter of us doing the work. And
So let
programs
me
like
let me
yours
let
are
me ask.
important, which is why I'm on it.
Absolutely. Let me ask this question, and this is a question for me. How is he back in this position again? Is what I'm trying to understand. And for those of you who support Donald Trump, this platform is for everyone. If that's your preference, but there is information that needs to be said and clarified on the fact that how is my question is someone who has committed a crime and has been found guilty could possibly live in the White House, but someone who actually has committed a crime cannot visit the White House. How can you live in the White House, but you can't visit the White House if you have a criminal record? And Donald Trump does have a criminal record now.
I think that to a certain segment, not the majority of America, there's a group of people that feel about Donald Trump the way that we feel about President Obama. Obviously, they have nothing in common in terms of quality, but he has a base that's a minority base that supports him because he won. Right? So people gravitate towards winners.
Mm.
He won, and people thought that he was going on a path to win again. And as you know, DiDi, successful people get away with a lot of stuff. And so that's really what he's done. He won a presidential election. And because of the awesome power that comes with the presidency, a lot of people bent the knee to this guy. So Joe Biden didn't bend the knee to him. Kamala Harris is definitely not going to bend the knee to him. And as a result, he's going to lose. But if you ask why I think he's back in office, I think that because he is so brutal and brass knuckle that he fought his way and beat a lot of people that didn't have the integrity, vigor, or courage to stand up to him and beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, because he wins within that crowd, he keeps a crowd, right? Even though even though Joe Biden beat him, folks felt like he was the person best suited um, to beat Joe Biden. And then he has a hate in him and a destructive quality in him that appeals to a minority base of people. And it's a big enough chunk of people to allow him to get through the Republican primary. But that's soon going to come to an end in 97 days.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to beat again because he's a loser.
So, and you're speaking to a lot of it. We're literally transitioning. There are comments and remarks and statements that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance says that are not true. Flint asked the question, what is the most accurate site for fact checking during the upcoming debates and as we're considering which candidate is going to be best for our lives? Where do we fact check any of this information that's being put out there?
Yeah, so I think that a fact checking capability is being developed by the Kamala Harris for President campaign. Obviously, her campaign has been up and running for a little less than 10 days. So it's really like building a plane while it's in the air. I think that there'll be a fact-checking site that's developed by either the campaign or the Democratic Party that can be a trusted source as we go through the political process. We had that with the campaign for President Biden, and it helped. And obviously, because of AI, deep fakes, and all of the rest, we're going to need to build a trusted site where people can fact check, because Donald Trump lies so much and so breathlessly that you really can't keep up with it. So we'll have to have some apparatus that works to do that. That's a terrific question.
It was really good question. Mari asked, oh, yes, I do. I love my audience. Mari asked, does Project 25 include the elimination or reduction of funding for early learning programs for children birth through 5?
Well, I don't know that level of detail, but I know that Project 2025 eliminates the Department of Education and the federal standards that tie along with it, and would take the money that's currently at the federal level that has standards tied to it in order for states to receive it, and it would shift that away, and it would put a massive amount of federal funding in the hands of states where minorities and where Democrats don't make up the majority. So the state would be able to work its will on money that now has to go through a federal process with federal standards that are tied to those dollars.
That's right.
I mean, it is a terrible document, and it is breathless in its vindictiveness. And I think everybody should take time to read it.
And so, in a recent campaign where Trump was out, he was speaking to a Christian audience. He stated that if he wins, it's going to be his last time. Like you ain't gonna have to worry about voting no more. Please tell the audience what he's saying. What basically at the end of the day.
Yeah, believe your eyes. Believe your eyes. I mean, he's telling everybody what he's going to do, which is why we can't play with this guy. I mean, an object in motion stays in motion until it meets a countervailing force. Right. So when you have somebody who is a marauder, which is what he is, he's a bully and a marauder, until somebody stops that force, it continues to go. That's
Keeps
exactly
going.
what's happening with Donald Trump. You know,
Right.
somebody, and that person is coming in the form of Vice President Kamala Harris,
Mm-hmm.
has to meet that. So, you know, yesterday he and JD Vance have been saying horrible things about this black woman. And, you know, she said, y'all are saying it behind my back, but you won't meet me on the debate stage and
That's
do it
right.
to my face.
Say it with your
And
chest to my
so,
face.
you know, what matters in the black community is not what people say about us, it's what
Mm-hmm.
we say to each other.
That's right.
That's how black people decide who they're going to help and who they're going to support.
That's true.
And so, you know, I just think that I think that we're going to beat him, and that everybody who can see this, or the majority of your audience, is in the state of Georgia. So this is a real local conversation, which is why I wanted to be on here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody here can do something.
That's right.
Everybody's got a brother or a sister or a mama that we really need to talk to, because there's no time for foolishness.
No time. That's right.
Black men, there's no time for foolishness. Y'all know we owe black women. I was on CNN last night and they started talking, you know, going up to brothers and asking all these questions. Stop it.
Mm.
We all have a mother, a wife, a daughter, a grandmother, somebody that made our life as we know it possible.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our opportunity to give back to women who've done so much for us.
That's
When
right.
President Obama ran, when a black man was running, black women showed up and showed out and changed the visual of black men, because the most powerful black man on earth, the most powerful man on earth, was black. It helped us all,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the opportunity to make sure that the most powerful human being on earth is a black woman.
Mm.
And so Donald Trump's gold shoes, or him being a convicted felon, or him being mentioned in rap songs, or him paying off some rappers to hang out with him, can't overcome how we feel about our mothers.
Right. Right.
So let's go.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you mentioned black men. I had a conversation with a friend of mine today who is a black gentleman, and he stated to me, he didn't mention which way he was swinging or swaying or deciding to move, but he did state to me that Kamala could not relate to the plight of black men because she's married to a white man. What do you say to that?
What I say to that is nonsense. Vice President Kamala Harris is from Oakland, California. She is black. She lives her life as a black woman. And I think that the choice of who she decided to love and be with should not impact black men from supporting what she means to all black people. I mean, the fact of the matter is I have a 10-year-old black daughter, and a black female president of the United States is going to impact my daughter's self-image for the rest of her life. And so the question we have to really grapple with and deal with is, what counts the most? Well, I would make the argument that Donald Trump is so terrible, and he's literally telling you that if he gets elected, you will not have elections in the future. I didn't make that up. He's literally telling you you won't have elections in the future.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally telling you that that police who shoot Sonia Murray in the head in her own bedroom will have immunity.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling you that.
Right.
Right? So we can't fall for that trap.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Who do you think would be the best running mate for Harris?
Man, you know, I like Shapiro in Pennsylvania. I like Whitmer in Michigan. And I like Kelly in Arizona. I think any of those three individuals will assure the presidency. I think Shapiro would deliver Pennsylvania. I think Gretchen Whitmer delivers Michigan. And I think Kelly delivers Arizona. So it is my profound hope that it will be one of those three individuals.
Okay. Well, before you go, Mayor Reed, I'm eternally grateful. But I know that you and Vice President Harris attended Howard University.
No question.
And
Yes.
so you're advising HBCU love all the way, all the way.
Yeah, no question. You know, two times.
Speak to us about, before you go, just tell us, you know her. You know, you're both alumni and you're dear friends.
Yeah, we served on the presidential committee together, search committee together. Well, I was laughing about it yesterday when I was at the rally. In 2003, I, along with Ambassador Young and Gene Duffy, hosted a reception for then assistant DA in 2003 at the World Trade Club in the city of Atlanta. And so 21 years later, that young woman from Howard University that we hosted in Atlanta now has the opportunity in 97 days to be president of the United States of America. And as she has said so many times in her life, when she was elected district attorney, when she was elected attorney general of the largest state in the United States, when she was elected a United States senator, they thought she went to Harvard, but she went to Howard.
That's right. That's right. Oh my goodness. Again, thank you so much. I know you have to go. You all give a round of applause to Mayor Kasim Reed.
DiDi, thank you for having me.
Love you so much. Thank you for all that you have done for me, and continue on that campaign trail. We're going to continue to fight the fight and do what we have to do as well. And so before you go, is there anything that you would like to share? What are you working on? What are you doing? Tell us about you.
First, I want to thank you for your service to the city of Atlanta. It's why when I saw you, I was just so happy to see your happiness, to see your success, to see you in the podcast space. And I just want people to make sure that they're going to vote in November. I don't have any other requests. My life is going amazing. I'm a partner at McDermott, Will and Emery. I'm in my law office right now. When I'm done here, I will go back to work. I'm going to give an awful lot of time and do everything in my power to elect my dear friend Kamala Harris to the presidency of the United States, because I believe everything that we care about is on the line. And I believe that in elections, it all matters.
That's right.
Every moment, every little thing, it all matters. And that's how you win for Georgia and win for America.
That's it. That's it. Thank you so much again, sir. It's so good to see you. And again, you're the best. Absolute best. Enjoy. Right. Have a great rest of your night.
All right. You too.
Oh my goodness. So much. I know you guys are probably still throwing questions out there. But I am so glad that Vice President Harris and her team are working to pull together the source for you to be able to find and fact check the information that's being put out there. I know there is a question in regards to her policies and her implementation and prosecution, and when she was on the West Coast, I've heard her sentencing, the toughest sentencing down to, of course, Black and brown people, and that has been a topic in conversation as well. There's a lot, there is a lot that's happening. There's a lot that's being discussed. Find out the information. Find out. Do your fact checking. Don't just go by what you're seeing and hearing on the news or in social media. This is very important. You're hearing the thing about Donald Trump. One thing about him is that what he doesn't lie is about who he really is. Maya Angelou says that when a person shows you who they are, believed them the first time. And so, you know, he continues to do just that. He shows us who he is, and we have to believe them. And I know that what is it? And the Christians out there, I'm not going to even try to say that word with an E because I always say it incorrectly. But you believe that he has these Christian-based principles, but then he sat on a Christian stage and said that he's not a Christian himself. So, I mean, it's so much, but we cannot let the conversation, we cannot let the information go undiscussed and found so that we can make a very proper, very important decision come November 5th. You see my shirt? Y'all see the shirt? That's right. Get out and vote. That's right. My sorority is all about that, ensuring that we have the right to vote, which was something, again, that Trump stated that once he's in office this time around, if y'all put him back in again, he said he ain't going nowhere. Y'all won't be able to kick him out. He said you won't have to worry about it because he gonna take care of it. You won't have to worry about it. So, you know, what an amazing show. What an amazing show. But tonight's show is actually brought to you by the men of Omega Psi Phi Theta Lambda Lambda chapter.
Yes, we are Theta Lambda Lambda of the greatest fraternity of Omega Psi Phi Incorporated. Come join us, Thomas T.J. Jefferson Foundation Golf Tournament. Yes, it's going down September 16, 2024 at Flag Free Country Club in Peachtree City. For more information, contact Levi Q or Mike Robinson. Big shout out to the baddest chick in the game, DiDi Skky. This is Let's Talk About It podcast.
Shouts out to the baddest chick in the game. The baddest chick in the game. All right, come in. Come through, bros. Come through. Shouts out to Jaquita in the building. Leah is here. Of course, Huggy is in the building. Dee, good to see you. Good to see you, Dee. Brandy is here. Hey, Brandy and Bruno. So glad that you are with us tonight. Let's see who else is here. E. Reeves is in the building. Oh, I'm Jen. So good it's so good to see you. I'm so glad that you made it. Shayna. Hey, Shayna, how you doing, girlfriend? Sean is in the building. So glad that you all joined in, tuned in. And again, just a much needed conversation. Like, you know, Mary said, you're gonna be about politics or politics gonna be about you. One or the other. Because decisions are being made on a local level, on a national level, within our country. Decisions are being made, and you want to be a part of those decisions that are being made. So again, shouts out to the bros of Theta Lambda Lambda. Thank you for sponsoring tonight's show. That's going to do it for me. But before I go, I always ask for you to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you don't have the opportunity to watch the show, you can always listen. We are on all of your streaming platforms, wherever you get your favorite shows. We are there as well. Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We are there. So definitely check us out. That's going to do it for tonight's show. I'm your girl, the DiDi Skky. Before I go, you know what I say. Go for your goals, reach for the stars because the sky has no limit. Let's make sure that we get out and vote. We'll see you guys.